Clothes were made after her, I mean, fashion change, and it's just amazing. And if somebody says you look like Brigitte Bardot, I mean, what can I say? It's really a nice compliment. I adore her. She's so beautiful. I like black and white pictures a lot.
And so did the rest of the world.
Ich bin frisch verliebt in ein Shampoo. Ich nehme das neue L-Vital 3 Vitamin Shampoo von L'Oreal. Sie werden staunen.
Es enthält eine spezielle Pflege mit 3 Vitaminen. Sie dringt in das Haar ein und hält es von innen gesund.
3 Vitamine für dreifach schönes Haar. Noch nie war mein Haar so kraftvoll, so geschmeidig und so glänzend. Genau so, wie ich es mag.
L-Vital 3 Vitamine von L'Oréal Paris. Für das schönste Haar der Welt.
Warum L'Oreal? Weil ich es mir wert bin.
As many people maybe think or may seem, because it went fairly quickly, that's true. But, you know, in the beginning I also had to meet a lot of people, and, you know, I was rejected many, many times.
In the next half hour, Model goes beyond the perfect image to discover the real woman.
Tell us if we ever really see the real Claudia in the pictures. Are you there?
I'm always there. But who is really me? I don't know. It's always me.
Schiffer's story begins in Rheinberg, a small town near Dusseldorf, Germany, where she grew up.
I didn't grow up dreaming to become a model, because that's not something I didn't know anything about, you know, being a model, or even that this was a real profession. And I spent my afternoons with my friends, my girlfriends. You know, we played tennis, and I had lots of other hobbies, but it never was part of our dreams.
Her father, a prominent attorney, and her mother, a homemaker, groomed their eldest daughter to become a lawyer. But Claudia's life changed forever at age 17, when visiting model scout Michel Leviton discovered her in a Dusseldorf disco. Her parents at first rejected the idea of their daughter becoming a model. Claudia's career was nearly over before it started. But after some persuading and several meetings with agents, her parents decided to take a risk and let Claudia go to Paris.
They were very supportive and said, basically, you know, you decide. If you want to do it, we're totally behind you. Even my mother came with me in the beginning and helped me out, you know, going around Paris, because I came from a small town. I didn't know how the subway station worked. I didn't know how to go around Paris, how to do all of these things.
But even with the support of her parents, Claudia struggled.
I was rejected many, many times, and, you know, it's something you have to cope with, you deal with. And, you know, I mean, I am a sensitive person, but luckily I have a, you know, I'm not sensitive to the point where it would, like, destroy me or devastate me. I basically felt like, you know, if I was rejected, okay, fine, you're rejecting me, okay, I'll continue.
Her dogged determination paid off when French Elle took a gamble on the newcomer. Her hometown, many believed she was on the wrong track.
Some people were very jealous. Some people said, you know, oh, what is this? You know, she's going to be a model, and, you know, what is, because nobody really knew what it was really. You know, they didn't know it was a real serious profession where you can make a lot of money and travel and work with the most talented people in this profession. And some people I criticized and said, you know, what is she doing? She should have, you know, she should have much rather gone to university, and she should have stayed home. She shouldn't be alone in a big city like Paris.
But once Elle got on board, there was no stopping the Claudia phenomenon.
In the fashion world, you know, there's like there are politics. You know, fashion editors decide if you're the right look, let's say, for a certain magazine. And in Elle magazine, I was very lucky. They liked me very much, so they started working with me at my first cover with them, and that, you know, gave me a chance to be seen, you know, by other fashion editors or designers or photographers. And slowly from there, I started to be working with everybody else.
4 more European magazine covers followed, but this amazing streak was just a hint of things to come. Coming up on Model, the Claudia craze comes to America. Guess how?
It wasn't something that I knew would happen. It wasn't something that I waited to happen. It wasn't something that I wanted to happen. In New York, and it was on the weekend, and I didn't have any makeup on whatsoever. I was just wearing a pair of jeans, like nothing special, and I was going in the elevator into a building to see a friend, and somebody said to me, aren't you Claudia Schiffer, the Guess jeans girl? And I thought I was going to die.
Guess name became really much more known around the world because Claudia.
After the success of Guess, Claudia's face was everywhere. She did 500 magazine covers in 4 years. But she was more than just a cover girl. Famed Chanel designer Karl Lagerfeld was so smitten with Claudia, he took a chance and asked her to be in one of his shows, even though she'd never before walked the runway.
I never wanted to do fashion shows, and it's Karl Lagerfeld who said, you really should, and come on, let's do it, and convinced me, and I was very nervous before. I had no idea, because there were all these incredible fashion models that knew how to walk so perfectly, and I had no idea how to do that, and I still don't know how to do that, really.
Claudia had a bumpy start on the high fashion circuit, but her charm, elegance, and fearlessness eventually conquered the runway and won the hearts of top designers like Versace, Valentino, and Yves Saint Laurent. Then, in 1992, she signed the cosmetics contract of the century as the face of Revlon.
Try living with outrageously beautiful hair every day of your life. You'll get used to it.
The 3-year, $10 million campaign reportedly paid more than any other in history. Despite her wild success, Claudia realized her days of record-breaking contracts were numbered. So she began expanding the Claudia empire to include a calendar and a series of exercise videos called Perfectly Fit.
This is a great opener for the upper shoulders and upper neck.
5, 6, 7.
Then reaching, first to one side,
2,
and then to the other.
You don't have to do everything, all the 4 tapes, you know, every day. Let's say you choose 1 or 2, so you have at least 1 for upper body, 1 for lower body, and you do it maybe 4 times a week, you'll see a lot of, a big difference. I mean, my creative input and just like Fashion Cafe. I mean, Fashion Cafe is something I will continue definitely for a long time, because I'm co-owner of the restaurant, and, you know, we're opening every couple of months a new restaurant, and it's, to cover the whole planet, it's going to take a while.
But while all was well in business, the new mogul found herself scrambling to keep her personal life private. Coming up on Model, Queen Claudia takes on the tabloids.
The whole confrontation with the press, I still haven't gotten used to it. I don't think it's something you can ever get used to.
And hear from the man who's brought magic into her life.
I brought her up on stage in my show, and we kind of hit it off.
He's on vacation. I'm the one that's being chased, but still, you know, my sister and my mother don't want to go outside in a bathing suit anymore because they're on vacation. They're not in public eye. They're not used to having 20 photographers, you know, being on the wall around our swimming pool and just like, you know, waiting for the shot.
Mitchell taking her to Prince Albert.
People always want to put a lot of things into it when you have 2 well-known people, because they make up their own stories in their own mind.
Claudia soon learned how the tabloids operate.
Very difficult, because you open up your heart and you think, oh, they'll know what to write, what they can write, and what they can't write, you know, and you just open your heart to everything, and you're being very open, and you realize afterwards, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I should have kept that more private.
Keeping her private life private became even more of a priority, especially when she began dating illusionist David Copperfield in 1993. The illusionist is known the world over for his limitless magic shows. He defies death. 18 years her senior, Copperfield began dating Claudia after they met during one of his shows in Germany.
I brought her up on stage in my show, and we kind of hit it off. You know, after the show we talked for a long time, and we haven't stopped talking yet.
When their talk turned to marriage, Copperfield made a spectacle of his proposal. In 1994, he spent $21,000 to rent a tiny Caribbean island for 4 days, and there he asked Claudia to marry him. But they didn't seem to be in any hurry to tie the knot.
We're enjoying our engagement right now.
Despite such pronouncements, the rumor mill continued. Finally, the tabloids asked the couple if they trumped up the engagement for publicity.
Relationship with her.
Probably the same way. You have to keep reinventing yourself. You know, I wear a mustache one day, you know, all kinds of stuff. Wigs, you know, all kinds. No, I don't know. You have to just pay attention, listen a lot.
There are 2 sides to being together with somebody that also is also well known. One side is that the other person really understands well what's going on in your life. But on the other hand, both understand, you know, what it means, you know, what privacy really means to you, and how you can protect it and how you can keep it for yourself. I mean, what is really true is the more you're well known, the more you're being criticized. I mean, you can be somebody very, very well known and do great, whatever you do, be really great at what you do, and you still will be always criticized because that's just the way it works.
Coming up.
With the girls that I like starting, which means that, you know, they don't demand as much money and so on. I've heard that many, many times. You know, we can't work with any supermodels because, you know, we don't have the budget. Or, for example, and a good example is some designers say, oh, we can't work with supermodels because that brings more attention to the girl than to the actual dress.
Could this mean the end of the supermodel era?
No, I think once you've made it, once you've really made your name, it's an advantage because you can do whatever you want.
The queen of the supermodels rewrote history in May 1997 when she signed a record-breaking cosmetics contract as the face of L'Oreal. In the same month, she graced the cover of Playboy and made her acting debut in the film Blackout with Dennis Hopper. So what more could she want?
One day I would like to have children, but that's really a long, long time from now. I mean, now I still work, you know, I still work a lot in the fashion world because I enjoy it, but I'm much more selective because I want to keep the rest of my time for, you know, projects like the exercise videos, like Fashion Cafe, like my calendar, you know, and contracts I have with cosmetic companies or, you know, with other people.
Beyond taking, she faces the future.
You know, everybody gets older. I mean, your friends grow older with you, and, you know, so it is not something that happens to you alone, where you're left alone and suddenly you become older. It's like the people around you, you know, become older too. And if I look at my mother, you know, who's obviously much all over 50, and she looks really beautiful. So if I can look like her and be like her, I mean, she's admired by so many people and has so many friends, and, you know, I'd love to have that kind of life.
I was found in a dancing in a nightclub the weekend with friends. I was 17, just 3 years ago. I was going to school in Germany like every other girl.
One hot cover story in 1991 and still today.
The first thing that I was very happy about was when I had a cover out in Paris, and it was all over the kiosks, and that was the greatest feeling at all. But I'm very critical about me, so I always have things that I don't like this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this. Very critical. My family is not very easily impressed by things, but they like it very much, and they're very much after it. They want to know what is it all about. Not only the surface of it and the success, they want to know everything about it. It is glamorous, and it's a fabulous job. I think it's one of the greatest jobs you can ever have as a young girl. And of course, there's some parts that are not as great as everybody thinks, and it's not the modeling itself, because that's very easy. Anybody could do that. But the traveling and the being jet lagged, arriving at, you know, somewhere in another country in the morning and have to work again all day long, maybe till 12 midnight, and then go on with your traveling. When you do that a certain time, you know, without a stop, without having a weekend, and it starts to be tiring. And that's the only part that's really not so great about it.
Today, Claudia's net worth is in the millions.
I guess my images are more sexy and spontaneous and running around. I mean, mostly my image comes in the Guess Jeans ad, so that's what people probably think I am myself too in real life. But I'm not at all like that in myself. I'm not trying to be sexy or anything like that. I'm really normal and rather natural than the girl that everybody sees. That's one reason I was so afraid as well doing shows, because I'm basically like a shy person, and to go out there you have to be really strong and and don't care about all those people. But I managed.